Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Book Watch. This episode we are talking about The People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry, published in 2021, and the brand new 2026 Netflix adaptation, People We Meet on Vacation, directed by Brett Haley. This film is adapted by Yulin Kwong, and the audiobook is narrated by Julia Whelan. I am Jordyn.
I'm Sarah-Daye.
And I'm Chris.
And we're going to get started right after these messages. Okie dokie. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode. So happy to have you for this fun little mid-January vacation that we've got.
Do you watch Fallout?
Yeah.
Okay. When you said okie dokie, it reminded me of Fallout.
Oh, okie dokie. Hey, Fallout. Yes, love Fallout.
What is a vacation? I'm not sure I understand these words. Can anybody afford those things anymore? I thought that was a thing from our parents' generation.
Well, that's why we read, is to go on vacations in our mind.
Right.
So basically, if you read this book, you can travel all over the world for the mere price of $9.99 on Kindle.
Food will make you so hungry.
Yes, it did.
She talks about in all these places. Beignets. Man, I'm starving also.
I know. I've got a real hankering to go to New Orleans now.
Right.
It's always been on my bucket list.
Yeah. So Emily Henry wrote the book People We Meet on Vacation, and the book follows magnetic opposites attract friendship between travel-obsessed Poppy Wright and the pragmatic homebody Alex Nielsen. Told through alternating timelines, the novel explores the trips that define their relationship and the one summer that threatens to change everything. Dun, dun, dun. So yeah, this book is really fun. I don't usually read contemporary novels. Like I've said before, I'm big into fantasy, but this was really fun. It was really cute. It was good. And I like how it still kind of felt a little fantastical in the way that you were able to travel all over the world. It still felt like what I crave when I read a book is going somewhere that I've never been before. And so reading a book that's all about vacation and traveling, I still got that out of the book, even though it was contemporary. But what were your guys' initial thoughts on the book, and how'd you like it?
I just realized her name is Poppy Wright, and she's a writer. That seems kind of on the nose, doesn't
it? A little bit.
I thought the book was good. I really wasn't sure about it at first. I've kind of put these books off for a while, thinking I hear good things about them, but they were rom-com kind of style books that I wasn't sure about. But overall, I honestly loved both the book and the movie and thought they were great, and definitely looking into her other books to read soon.
I've read Emily Henry before. I've read this book before. I think this was my first Emily Henry, and I think I've read Book Lovers was my other one. And I was excited to see the movie. It was a cute rom-com. I love a dual timeline book. It's one of my favorite tropes or styles of writing. I always want to know, like the build-up is so good. I love a dual timeline. So I thought the movie did a good job of going back and forth and keeping the mystery going. And of course, the book did a phenomenal job of like, what happened 2 summers ago? I need to know.
Yeah, it was really fun.
It was always fun.
Yeah, it was really fun switching back and forth, and like as they're like talking about what happened 2 summers ago, and then you're going 12 summers ago and building up into it until you finally everything collides and you're like, oh my gosh, it's so cool. I thought the book had a really great blend of romance and comedy and drama and a rom-com drama situation. It was really good, really fun. And then the movie did all that too. It hit all the right notes for me, at least. Let's get into this movie. Let's get into our characters. So Chris mentioned the pun of Poppy Wright, our main female character. And in the movie, she's played by Emily Bader. And what did we think of Emily's performance?
I thought she was great. I think she's a fantastic actress. I don't think I've seen anything else she's been in, but I definitely want to follow her career. I think she has really good comedic chops. So I'm excited to see what her next big project is going to be. I thought she did a really good job playing Poppy in that really adventurous, charismatic character. And yeah, like I said, I'm excited to see where this actress goes.
Yeah, she's got the charisma to like carry a comedy TV show even or something like that. If they wanted to put her,
I would say so.
She definitely could pull off a Brooklyn Nine-Nine style show or something like that that has all those right timing moments. But yeah, I really enjoyed her in this role. She definitely is someone I definitely will follow too.
Yeah, I think she did a great job as well. And then we've got Alex Nielsen, played by Tom Blythe of Hunger Games fame. He's starred as Coriolanus Snow in Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Super different role. I like struggled at first, like seeing him without like the bleached like Draco Malfoy white blonde hair. I was like, is this like this is weird? I don't like it. But he did a great job as well. Like both of them, like listeners, I watched the movie first before I read the book. Big crime. I know, but it had to happen that way. And so like the movie, I was like, these people are really weird. Like she's a lot and he's like very stiff, but that's exactly how they're written. And so I think they both did a great job of like making the like stiffness of the page characters come to life and feel like normal. Like he's just very reserved. So I think he did a great job on that part.
Not to get too far ahead, but I'm excited when we get into the plot in the next episode because Chris and I had already read the book. We all watched it together. Listeners, we did a live watch, which you are more than welcome to join us on the next one. But it was just the three of us this time, and we were all talking as we were watching it and like getting our opinion on these characters and getting Jordyn's opinion on these characters without having read the book. So I'm excited to see if things that you said while we were watching the movie changed at all,
Yeah.
or thoughts on these characters changed at all when you got to read about
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
As far as Alex goes, I don't think he was stiff enough in the film. I think Tom could played him almost too cool. He was a little. He felt like a character that was like you're already too cool for her for this story. I need you to be more of the awkward outsider than you were. But I think he pulled off what they were trying to do in the film well enough. But it was not quite the same character as the book. That's for sure.
He's definitely not who I pictured as Alex. I pictured somebody like just taller. I I don't know if it's mentioned in the book, but I always imagined him with glasses in the book, like very studious, like your typical like um library nerd. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So to have Tom Blythe, I mean, I think for a movie, you have to get the superstars, and he's up and coming right now. Like you said, he was just in the Hunger Games, and he's definitely your typical rom com male lead. I thought he worked for the film. I think their chemistry was really great, but just not what I imagined when I was reading the book.
Yeah, I same. I think he was originally described with lighter, like sandy blonde hair, so that
That's
was
how I pictured
weird.
him.
Yeah, because he was like he has super dark hair in the movie, and then yeah, he I don't know. Sometimes he felt really like shy, but like in like a standoffish kind of way versus like shy in the nerdy way, like what you're talking about, Sarah. So, but
Hmm.
I think that probably has more to do with like the direction and the script than like him. But yeah, I mean, an interesting choice for to play that part. Let's move
Didn't feel
along.
like he
We've
would read a. Didn't feel like he's the kind of guy that would be reading a book in a bar. So that's
Yeah,
interesting in the book.
yeah,
no, he felt more jockey in the movie, to be honest. And like we'll get into it at the end. We felt he was like a little bit more aggressive than he was in the book, and even in the first scene in the car, I felt like he was a little bit more, dicky than he is in the book. Like in the book, I think he's just very just like flat and monotone and just straight to the point. But like in the movie, he was like rolling his eyes and huffing and puffing, and
yeah.
I'm like, let's tone it down a little bit, Tom.
Yeah, he's like more actively frustrated by Poppy in
Hmm.
the movie than in the book. He's just like, even if he is that frustrated, he's very much internalizing it. So yeah, that's probably a big difference. But next up, we've got Sarah Torval. She's played by Sarah Catherine Hook, and so Sarah is Alex's on again, off again girlfriend from their hometown, and she and Poppy are super different. Very different. And I think when we were watching the movie, I was like immediately don't like her. Immediately she's not my vibe. I'm not a fan of her. And then like watch we'll talk about the plot, but like she kind of I understood where she was coming from and why she was acting the way that she was acting. And so I think that the actress did a great job of like playing that role of like, you know, that there's something going on with your boyfriend and his best friend who's a girl, but like they say there's not, and they're like in reality there hasn't been anything going on, but you just have that gut instinct that like something's not right. And I think she played that really well. So what do you guys think of her?
I think she
Opposed to
was
the book.
fine. Yeah, she's not like a huge character. She's in one, like physically in maybe one well, or two chapters. Um, I thought the actress did fine. There's not much to her character other than being Alex's off and on partner. So, um, yeah,
They changed a lot about the like circumstances of her that I was like, I don't know that you needed to change that. Like she was supposed to have worked with
right.
them in the library, wasn't actually supposed to have been from their hometown, moved there to take a job at the school he worked at, things like that. And then she worked at the school as well in the book versus in the movie. She's gonna go into real estate and then she ends up as a flight attendant, to just like things like that
Hmm.
that didn't need to change, I don't feel like, but did, and that was fine. They still played the hit the points they needed to hit, but they
Mhm.
definitely changed certain parts of how they used her. The actress, I think she did fine. I mean, she played the part she was supposed to play, and I thought that was good. Nothing really all that memorable about her, in my opinion, but she was hit those points she needed to hit.
Yeah, for sure. So then we have Swapna, played by Jamila Jamil, and she is Poppy's boss at R&R. Um, I reading Swapna, you get a little bit more of her than you do in the movie. I love her. Like I have a boss like her. I hope that I'm a boss like her. Like she like really she's very like, we've got a business to run and we've got things to do and, you know, missions to accomplish, but she cares about her team and she really cares about Poppy and mentors her, and so I really love that, and I think Jamila Jamil did a great job of like bringing that firm, like stern
Hmm.
caring forward.
Yeah, I mean, Jamil can do no wrong. And I don't really think I think you nailed it on the head. I don't have anything to add. I think she's a great boss, and Jamila really did a good job of portraying that.
Yep, definitely love her. She reminded me of when I watched Supergirl. The boss of Cat Grant at the newspaper that Supergirl worked for reminded me of her a lot, of the way she played that character of this boss that knows everything and is willing to be friends with her coworker with her employees, but will is still firm and has a good way of talking to them and bantering. Definitely, very good girl boss. Played it well.
And so then we've got Poppy's best friend Rachel, played by Alice Lee. Her role was super cut down for the movie. She's literally
Hmm.
in one scene, but I think the scene was fun and she was great.
I almost wonder if they should have combined those two characters and just made her boss that character that was also her friend in that moment. Like, you know, you probably could have eliminated that role, but yeah, the actress did fine. It was a good, funny scene. She had a few phone calls with her, I think, throughout, but it was, yeah, in the book, it has a little more to do.
I think you're right, Chris. They could have just combined those characters. There was no need to make a whole nother character for what they did in the film.
Yeah, I mean the scene that they're in together is funny, like, and
Oh
it
yeah.
reflects um, the scene in the boat in Canada with Alex, like the shouting over the noise, and you know you can't. It made sense and it was funny, but yeah, definitely like you could have totally cut it and it wouldn't really change anything.
Mm.
And so then we've got David, who is Alex's little brother. He's played by Miles Heiser. And again, another very like very small kind of role. We don't see him a lot.
They make him directly friends with Poppy and calling her and inviting her, and some of those things were changes, but I think he played it well. I feel like they cut out one of the brothers because there was in the book three brothers, I think,
That's so
and
too,
that's tells
right?
the
Yeah.
story. But that didn't matter too much to the story. They told a good story, and I think he did a good job as that role. I mean, I think all the roles in this were well done, so I kind of feel like I'm just kind of parroting the same thing of, yeah, they've all been great, but I think he, yeah, played that brother getting married that is trying to avoid all some drama, but also needs somebody as their foil to bring their family out. So he needs Poppy there and wants his brother to be happy. I think he did well.
Yeah, yeah. I think there was. Alex has three younger brothers in the book, so I think they eliminated
Mm,
the two middle
Okay.
brothers that were already married and had kids and stuff, and so they just left it as Alex and David. But again, makes sense for the movie, and I don't think we
right.
didn't even meet them in the book, so it's whatever. Um, I'll kind of speed run through these last couple. We've got Buck, played by Lucas Gage. So he is like the main guy from like the hippie commune that we see in Canada, and one of the early flashbacks from when Alex and Poppy are still in college. And then we've got Trey. He's played by Lucien Laviscount. He plays Poppy's boyfriend in the Tuscany summer era. He in the book he's a photographer for the same company that Poppy works for, where she writes the articles, he takes the photos. I think in the movie they said he was like some sort of model or something, right?
I thought it was still photographer.
No, he is okay. And then Poppy's parents, played by Molly Shannon and Alan Ruck. I think
They're
everybody
fun.
hit their marks, did great. I loved her parents. I thought they were super fun, like definitely like quirky. Uh,
Midwest parents.
yeah, 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 very fun. Okay.
I think it's we can note that they did cut out one of Poppy's boyfriends, Guillermo,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
from the film. So, but they didn't even really get into that relationship at all. They kind of just focused on Trey as her not good for you boyfriend,
mm-hmm.
which again was fine. They only had 2 hours to work with, so they did have to cut some stuff out.
Yeah,
Making Sarah his girlfriend from the beginning too was different from the book. They had in the book he was too shy to even like it was a library friend that he wasn't willing to ask out at first, and eventually got around to asking out. In the book, he or in the movie they make them together from their hometown and back and forth that way. So that
yeah,
relationship changed a little bit, but was ultimately movie versus book timing.
yeah. Just some timing things, and I think Poppy has two boyfriends before Trey, Guillermo and Julian, I think.
Mm,
And so I
hmm.
think Julian and Guillermo kind of got combined into the one guy in New Orleans in that scene of the movie. Um, yeah, but even that, and we'll talk about that, I'm
Oh
sure.
yeah, I forgot we did see another guy, the guy that shows up on the doorstep, right?
Yes, yeah,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
guy.
yeah, 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 yeah,
It
yeah.
didn't
Okay, so
happen.
yeah. Okay, so they did it. They still cut out one boyfriend, but like you said, they combined kind of the two characters into that
Hmm.
guy, right?
Yeah. So, okay, so it's kind of hard to talk about the differences in the characters without kind of talking about the plot. So we'll try to keep it brief. But what do we think about like some of the major differences between Poppy in the book and Poppy in the movie?
I just felt like everything was kind of rushed, especially the ending and their like epiphanies, if you will. I mean, not that Alex really has one, but Poppy's transformation at the end and like her realization about what she really wants in life was just kind of like not that it came out of nowhere. And like their relationship too. I don't know. I felt like we'll get into this more probably in the next episode, but I felt like the 2 summers ago, the changes that they made. Okay, I just feel like the second half of the movie was way too fast. And like I even think even a half an hour would have like added like 2.5 hours would have made it a lot better. We could have gotten a lot more growth in that second half of the story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I felt like she definitely felt pretty close to the character, but yeah, there seemed to be things missing from the story that you kind of don't get to grow the same way as you see in the book. And I think Alex kind of got most of his emotional storyline kind of yanked out. I feel like he doesn't get to grow the same way she does. He's just this prop in the movie that feels like he's not changing, just waiting for her to make up her mind, which is fine.
Mm-hmm.
But in the book, he also has a lot of push and pull and a lot of growth that he has to go through.
Yeah, I think when you read it, Poppy, like from the beginning, she always says that there's like this 5% of what if with Alex. She always kind of has that 5% of a little crush on him. Like we could go on. And then sometimes it gets up to like 15-ish%, and then she tries to stifle it back down to 2. So I don't think that like the directors and the writers put that out enough in the beginning
Hmm.
of the movie to make the ending of the movie make sense, especially when they are going to have to rush it for time. Like, she doesn't seem to give any indication in like the flashbacks that she likes Alex that way. Like, she has a crush on him, she wants to be with him like romantically. It just kind of like when they're in Barcelona, for David's wedding, it all kind of comes out of nowhere a little bit, versus like I said in the book, there is the 10 years of buildup on her end as well as on his end. And then yeah, Chris, like you said, like his background with his mom, and like how he was the parentified older sibling to his younger brothers, like growing up, and like why he is the way he is, because he has to be you know the emotional support for the whole family, and that's why he's so closed off, because he's never been able to express his emotions safely at home. Like, all of that did get kind of taken away, or like shrunk so much that you kind of didn't even notice it.
Right.
And so yeah, I think that was harmful for his character growth as well, which sucks, but you know.
I do think there's one moment in the film where you see Poppy kind of like realize he's attractive, and that is at the camp when he comes up butt naked, and she's like, "Oh, you are like fit," or whatever she says. Um, and I feel like I'd have to watch it again. I mean, Chris, you've seen it twice. You can let us know, but I feel like that's really the only sign we have of her being remotely attracted to him up until the present day stuff.
Yeah, I don't think she lets herself acknowledge it. I think that she finds him to be fun to be around. She gets all the signs, but I don't think she has the emotional availability to accept that they could be anything more at that point. So she likes him, but and likes having him around, but isn't willing to lose him that way. So,
Mm-hmm.
which makes sense in the film. I get that. The therapy that's missing from the end is a little bit would have been nice to see, or even a comment about. They both started going to therapy as part of the process of actually getting to know who they are, so they can be together. But we don't see that.
Yeah, I wish that would have been brought up as well, because I think I know it's a fiction story, and so that it's going to have that little bit of a fantastical element to it, where like everything works out and we all have a happy ending, and we kiss in the rain and it's fine. But I think like showing that they were both flawed people who, had made mistakes and had handled situations poorly, and they, wanted to work on themselves and get that help, and like, take accountability for their actions and who they are as people, and heal, and then they were able to talk and work things out and come together. I think that would have been like a really valuable thing to put in a movie that like this, and especially one where like Emily Henry is super popular amongst like her readers, and even people who don't read contemporary novels know Emily Henry's books and what she's about. And so I think like having that message in a movie like this, where you're probably going to get a lot of viewership, would have been a really valuable thing.
Mm-hmm.
Would have been a great plot device at the end if that's who they were telling the story to together or something. Like they were talking to
Hmm.
their couples
Mm.
therapist or something, and they were actually working on themselves. That would have been helpful.
Yeah, that would have been really cool too. Yeah. All right. Well, that's kind of it for our big characters. Does anybody have anything else that they want to talk about as far as characters and like things that got changed about how the characters were played?
What about the couple that they are parallel with in the? I think it was in the
Bob
New
and
Orleans one.
Tracy,
Yes,
or Stacy. Bob,
yes, something
Stacy, I
like
think.
that.
I think it's Stacy. Yeah, the other
Because they're
the
really
other
the only people we meet on
newlyweds.
vacation, I think. So
That's true.
Yeah.
that's what
Well,
the
Buck
book
was met
alluded
on the whole
to.
commune was met on vacation.
Yeah. Well,
I
and
felt
I
like that
think
was one thing about the title that didn't make sense, is because I felt like very little of what she does actually is meeting people on vacation. There's a couple of them, but not that many.
I I liked it actually, because reading it, they talk about in the movie like vacation Alex versus like regular Alex, but then in the book there's different versions of Alex. There's naked Alex, which is like his true self that he reveals to her like in those small private moments, and then there's like literally naked Alex when they go skinny dipping and he loses his clothes. Like, there's all
God,
these.
I'm trying
So
on
I
my
think those are
romper.
the people we meet on vacation, is the different versions of ourselves.
I get
Whoever
that.
you want to be
Mm.
in,
I think
like
that is what it's
who you
supposed to
are in
be.
New
Yeah.
Orleans is different from who you are in San Francisco, different from Barcelona, from Italy, from all these things. Like, you know, you can be like, she opens the beginning of the book and the beginning of the movie with like, you can be whoever you want to be on vacation because you're never going to see these people again. And so like discovering these different versions of yourself, those are the people you meet on vacation.
So is there going to be a honeymoon Jordyn soon? Is that when you're
Yeah,
going to confirm
girl.
for you?
Yeah, and
You're
honeymoon
gonna
Jordan's got a drink package, so
there you
we're gonna
go.
find out.
So you're gonna find a couple and just lie to them about something just to be the person you want to be.
I might now, just for funsies, just to see how it goes. But we will have to remember everything we say to keep it up for a week. But
Fair enough. Yeah.
yeah, I might.
There you go. Well, we'll see what people we become on vacation someday.
Yeah, we'll see what versions of ourselves we are when we finally meet in person.
All right.
All right. Well, I think that's it. Unless Sarah-Daye, you've got anything else to add?
Mm-mm.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us on this episode 1 of People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. This is Book Watch. I'm Jordyn. That's Sarah-Daye, and that's Chris. And we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.